is buffer time? What is buffer time? Is what buffer time?
Do you feel the buffer time? I feel the buffer time. Hello, everyone. We're here to talk about the penultimate episode of Season 1 of Starfleet Academy. Before we get into it, let's go around and introduce ourselves. I'm Dustin from Best of Trek.
Hello, I'm Ren from Ren Rants.
I'm Josh from Win Grace Project. I bought the pen if somebody else has the ultimate.
I got a pen, I got an apple.
I'm from my room.
I'm Gannon from a channel by the same name.
And I am Scott from Opinions No One Cares About.
You sure are, sir. All right, we've got, this is like some of the most questions I've come out of an episode with in a while, both good and bad. A lot going on with this episode. There's a lot I like, there's some that I don't. Let's start with a real easy one with like even the graphic here. Does it feel like a whole school year has passed?
Hell
It
no.
would if it had been 22
No.
episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Yeah,
we
right.
did the math before we started here. So basically it comes down to each episode's a month because it's about 30 days per
It doesn't
episode.
feel like that though. I feel like we just got to know
No,
them.
not really.
Maybe if they tried to sell me on it's a month, I would probably believe it. But the idea that it's been a year is it. But I agree with Ren. I think it's because we have lack of episodes, and also because I think lack of advance of plot.
And there's not really any advance of the schooling. Like they mention offhandedly that they're going to midterms a couple episodes ago, but we don't really see any advancement in their academic work outside of just a couple lines.
We haven't seen them like go to school that much. Like we haven't
Mhm.
seen them take very many tests or like Starfleet tests, I guess. There's been a handful. And now they've lost half the school, so I feel like it feels like it's been a semester. What is that, like a quarter of the school year?
A half is a
half.
semester usually.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
it's
at 300 days.
It's
as
been at
per the
most like a semester, and something that's kind of crazy when you realize it too is, I mean, if we're all going to be honest with ourselves, this show is probably only going to get 2 seasons. But I mean, how long is Starfleet Academy? Like 4 years, you think?
Yeah,
You're
I
there?
hope it gets 4.
Me
So
too.
like at most we would get 4 if they're going to keep on going with this year thing.
hmm
Yeah, it'd make a lot of sense.
I think Kurtzman said he has a possibility of a 10-year plan
That's
where
true.
they cycle through people every 4 or 5 years, but I don't think we're getting that.
I wish.
no.
I would actually love that. if
Taro
they
has said that
had
it has- Season 2 is in the can. Oh,
Yep, it's already booked, already done.
Yeah, they finished about a week ago, maybe.
Yeah, a
Some of
little
them
over,
flew
yeah.
to the cruise after wrapping filming.
Wow.
Yeah, God, I wish I could afford that cruise, especially this year. I've seen a lot of pictures come out of it. It looks like everybody had an awful lot of fun.
It is the only cruise I've ever honestly wanted to be on because conceptually
Yes.
cruises kind of disgust and horrify
I
me.
fully agree. Like, you know you're coming out with some disease or
Very
another.
true.
I will just mention, this is mostly for Gannon, they just announced a Stargate cruise taking off after the Star Trek cruise.
See, I'm like with everybody
What?
else. I hate cruises. I would never want to pay a large amount of money
No.
to keep myself trapped in the middle of the ocean.
It is a
The
lot
Star
of
Trek
money.
cruise to get like
Cruise
one of the
people. You're
cheapest
trapped in the middle of the ocean
interior
with cruise people.
Yeah. But-
interior cabins are like $3,300 a person, and you have to do a double occupancy.
Given the
So you're
opportunity,
talking about like
I
$7,000
I
before you
would
even
do the Star
start
Trek
piling
cruise.
on extra fees.
Just straight to Gorthor with you.
The Barge of the Dead cruise.
If I wanna
Oh
be
God,
Star
I would do
Trek
that
cast
though.
and
Yeah.
Get
I would
sick. I'll
do
just
that.
go to a convention.
There.
You were trying to say something, Gannon. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm probably gonna mute myself because I'm recovering from COVID, so I have to cough every once in a while.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh, I'm
Really?
sorry to hear
No.
that.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry, dude.
It's okay. I'm on the last leg. I just have to get over the cough and a little bit of
Alright.
congestion.
All right, hang in there, man. So in this
Don't
episode,
Exercise much for the next few weeks. Be gentle with your heart. Google it.
Okay.
something I had noticed, and I don't even think I actually have a picture of her for whatever reason, but Sam is now in her like new life wearing pants, skirt Sam or pants Sam.
I hope Sam regularly switches between uniforms because I like both of them, and I think it's fun that they can just wear what they want
Indeed.
from day to day.
Yeah, just blip in and out of the different ones, like she was blipping in and out of scenes. Just new uniform every time.
To match the vibes with whatever her hair is that particular episode. I am still so glad that they decided to have her do the like multiple hairstyles instead of having her have like one set hairstyle that's the same every day, like a lot of general characters, but also like hologram characters you would expect to just kind of always look the same. But with Sam, we get so much like wonderful variety, and I love that. It's so cute. It's just the idea that she's already was expressing herself that way is just great.
I'm gonna say skirt Sam as far as just a look. But I respect pants Sam because like I've got more questions about Sam coming up, but like boy do I really like the differentiation, and I can feel like something has clicked and is very different with Sam now that she's gone through 17 years with the Doctor.
But we still love her so much.
She might be the best character in the show, to be honest.
Easily. Like, and there are a lot of
That's
good
fair.
characters in my opinion, but like Sam rocks.
Rocks that theremin.
So as far as rocking stuff, what would you like to see Jaden in next after the Klingon Baldock and skirt combo?
Hmm.
I just want Jaden to stop wearing those goofy ass shoes.
I like the boots. They're fine.
This is a good one.
Give him a scant, but with the short sleeves. That's what I want.
The bathing suit Jadzia gave Worf that we didn't get to see in the Ryza episode.
Oh,
Correct. Objectively correct answer.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick. I'd love to see Jaden in a corset.
So going back to Sam for a minute, why does Sam want a single occupancy next year?
I think so. When I've been ruminating on this because there's a lot of stuff going on with the like friendship with Genesis and Sam in this episode, and they've had this like whole friendship built up like throughout the season where we see them in the background together a lot. But from the start, Genesis was kind of like taking the lead almost in like a bigger sister kind of role, like teaching Sam how to shake hands and kind of like building her up and like walking her through everything. And while she was like really kind and well-intentioned about that, I think my guess is the dynamic hasn't really changed despite Sam having changed. And so Genesis still sees her as the same Sam and hasn't really gotten to know her or understand who she is now, which is why we get those little like almost passive aggressive moments where Sam does stuff like, you don't know me or what I do. Because I think she is still coming to terms with who she is with these two versions of herself. And I think that's kind of why she's drifting sort of towards Caleb, because Caleb's also got two versions of himself that he tries to reconcile. So that's kind of how I saw it.
Yeah, I think Norman has it a little bit here too.
I'm sorry, I was trying to steal a shuttle. Didn't work.
Well, we all just appeared randomly in your shuttle, so it's okay.
It was the chronotons.
I think we did
They
that. That's the problem.
enveloped
You're
the
all my
shuttle after you
accomplices.
launched. Yeah, like I have to wonder if it's more because like it's unclear. Did she have like friends provided to her by like her creators or whatever, or was it just her and the doctor for 17 years? Because man, I mean that's cool, and I love that he gave her like new purpose and a new view on life. But God, that must be difficult. I don't know if I could survive with just the doctor for 17 years. Seven couldn't do it.
Please state the nature of the fatherly emergency.
Oh my god. I'm sure he probably like programmed her some buddies or like I don't know.
I watched that episode.
I wanna know
little
more,
visit or
Jeff.
No,
something.
with the way the doctor is, I think it would be more like he created lessons, and in these lessons they had to have social interaction, but they weren't like ongoing characters that like she interacted with on a regular basis. It was like, okay, in this social situation, here's a boy, and this is what you do. Like when a boy asks you to dance, like I think about it the way I think about the Seven lessons, but for like a kid.
Maybe some of the Caskians wanted to like see what her deal was and checked in and would take some kind of friend form for that. I don't know.
Maybe.
Form of friend.
That's how they must have made Sam because she's the most like friend-shaped face I've ever
Aw.
seen in my life. She just like when she smiles, you smile. She's so friendly looking.
That is correct.
It
After
could also
Colbert,
be, and maybe
Go ahead.
you can think I'm crazy, but she seems like the kind of character that's on all the time, and maybe she wants to live by herself so that she can kind of let it hang, because that way she doesn't have to be this overly pleased so that you like me.
Maybe.
you glitched like Sam when she had before she had to go to the spa, but I think I got the
Yeah.
sentiment there. You seem to be okay now, Del. I wouldn't do anything about it.
Okay.
After Colbert's announcement, do you think there was an orgy in Cargo Bay 2 before a theory even got to Beta Z? Because I mean, you tell a bunch of young people like, "Hey, don't do stuff in the storage bays." Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
And how
I mean, I guess
involved was
easy
Almond
peasy.
Basket?
You know, God, now that you've said that, we haven't seen Almond Basket since episode 2. I feel like that is a highly underrated thing. That like, why hasn't it come back? Why didn't it come back in Tawny Newsom's episode at bare minimum?
Maybe
haven't even
it's
seen
because
the
everyone was so
dots.
rude to her that she left the academy after that. They did
Right.
try to sit on her repeatedly.
That's
Shipping
fair.
around.
The real menace behind Braca is Almond Basket.
Almond Basket. Is the
Oh my god.
I'm here for that.
Oh man.
So here, this is the first like heavy hitting question. Why does Starfleet have Omega? Like at all? For any reason? This is one of like my biggest sticker
Yeah.
points of
So
this
did
episode.
the Omega Directive
I
expire
almost screamed
or
that on the
something? Like
screen.
Jane, like I rewatched the Omega Directive because of this. It was so serious. They like immediately suspend the Prime Directive for it. Like this is the real Prime Directive: is we must immediately destroy the particle. The research, like any evidence of its existence, if found, must be immediately destroyed. Because of this, I do like that it like shredding subspace and making warp travel impossible also was like canonically established in that episode. So that was cool that they brought
True.
that back. But also, yeah,
Mhm.
why the hell do they have this? This is why they shouldn't have this.
I don't
Even
like
Section 31, Norman. Even Section 31 of all people
No,
should
Section 31
recognize
wouldn't
like
have gone this far.
you know that you don't.
And also, it was protected by one starship. One starship? That's it?
One starbase.
Yeah, but the starbase defense is only held for 18 minutes, and they made it seem like the Sargasso, the ship leaving the space station. They made that seem like that's the reason they were able to do that.
Mhm.
Like one starship is
True.
what it was like the difference between that station being robbed by the Venari Rawl or not being robbed by the Venari Rawl, really?
Apparently.
Well,
Yeah, I definitely didn't like it. I just feel like it's another case of them
not even.
like feeling like because they're in the 32nd century, they could just make the stakes as big as they want them on a whim. It really is just they're doing too much. And then another thing is like it's always convenience for the plot, but it is again ridiculous how they insist on having first year cadets in the school like keep on leaving San Francisco. They don't need to be at the Beta Z delegation thing, especially when there's like a terrorist on the loose doing this stuff.
I mean, it's kind of a major event. I could see why you'd want the academy, like your
Yeah,
first.
you want the
major
cadets to
academy
witness
class to
this
be there.
historic event in Starfleet history. The whole reason for the academy is to like celebrate the new era of Starfleet, right? And to like bring the cadets into that. So that's fine with me. And I like the idea of them having like the ship. I think that was a great way to avoid it just being kind of we're at school all the time and actually give them an excuse to like, you know, go out there and see stuff. I just wish that there was more going out there and seeing stuff when they're away from home instead of them always getting their asses handed to them by new
Yeah,
Straka.
if next episode
just
they don't get the
every
other
time
half
they
back,
leave.
if next episode they don't get the other half of the school back, somebody's getting fired.
They're
And somebody
gonna.
has to get fired.
I mean, they built
Ake
that
was
massive
resolute.
set.
She's like, he's not keeping my ship. And we know it's Star Trek. We know it's all gonna be fine in the end because it's Star Trek. That's sort of like the promise that they make to us as the audience is that like no matter what the nightmarish stakes are, it is all gonna be mostly fine. You know, but for a few red shirts and or a main character here and there.
Unless they
They-
threw a curveball in season 2 is Nusbraka teaching like Venari Rawl Academy.
Oh god.
I would watch that.
Wage Douche Academy Edition.
Oh man.
But
It's the
no,
Mirror
I
Academy.
would like this to be an excuse to bring back the mycelium drive, the pixie dust drive. Give it back to me. I liked that. I'm
It
also
has to be.
Discovery cameo when the setup for it is
It's
perfect.
got to be next week. There's
they don't-
no way.
It's so funny because like Discovery's not even my favorite, but I will scream and kick my little feet if Michael Burnham's on my screen. I will be so excited.
Do you think they'll get anyone else back, or would it just be like a brief
Oh,
moment
I
on
would
the view
cry
screen?
if they got Saru back. If they bully Doug Jones back into that makeup, I will love them forever.
I mean, it would make sense for him to be at
Action
the
Saru.
Beta Z if they end up getting there, if not on Discovery itself.
True.
I would love
True.
to see one of the old, like the background characters now be the captain. I know it couldn't be like Tilly. Saru would be kind of the obvious one. Again, make a
Hello.
whatever. But
I want Captain
yes,
Hello.
or yeah, like someone who wasn't in like command has
Linus.
now risen to be the captain.
Right.
Yes.
Oh
with Josh.
God,
The bridge
Linus
goes
is
forward.
Captain
laughing like
Linus.
the
You'll
character.
slide us.
Yes.
I'll be so happy.
Yes.
He pops on screen like everyone else was busy. They're all I could get. Sorry.
No, I've left Norman's comment up here because Pickford, they haven't brought her up again since the incident that like traumatized everybody else. So I have to assume at this point, like she just can't. She hasn't
She had to be
earned
escorted
it.
from the bridge, but she didn't.
I'm not
make
saying
it
that it's
into
not
the class.
impossible as a choice from the production team, but it would be a choice after like a pretty good season. Like if she becomes the hero in the end, I'm gonna be a little upset. She has not earned it. We haven't seen her in 4 episodes.
She and the Romulan can just team up and save the day because she's been absent too
Or
since
we want
then.
to get back to people we haven't
true.
seen in since episodes.
But she's in
Kelpian.
the War College, and the War College isn't on Athena right now. So
Kelpian saves the day.
did it make any sense to have all the cadets just kind of running into each other in a random shuttle?
Well, I think Darum had like tracked them there to come yell at Caleb, is my guess, because he was drunk and angry at Caleb for hurting Jaden's feelings.
'Cause damn it, he likes a lot of them.
Sam also was there specifically because she knew Caleb was stealing a shuttle. So really, it's only Genesis who just like happened to be there by chance, at least from how I interpreted it. And I do think it's fun how she gets kidnapped into this mission, but ultimately is a pretty good sport about it, all things considered. Judgy Genesis.
Did anyone else catch the other little incongruity in this scene when Sam closes the door on Genesis? You can see behind Sam in like the front window that she's already made the shuttle start moving. But when she closes the door, what's behind the door isn't moving in relation to the shuttle. It's just a static, wall behind it. So there was an
going
inconsistency
around a moving
there
shuttle.
too.
Plot device, Mr. Frodo. Plot device.
It's the little things because, like, honestly, I do like this episode. There's a lot of things to like. I don't even think I had a question for it, but going through here, this scene between Caleb and Tarima is the first scene, both with Tarima, that I like in the entire season, and the first time between the two of them that I like. I don't hate this. I really like this scene, and I'm starting to feel the tiniest bit of chemistry.
It was cute. Also, the scene where he tells her name sounds like music actually did make me feel feelings.
Yeah, me too.
It's
I don't feel feelings often.
I'm not invested, I wasn't really invested in their romance at all up to this point, and have been complaining about it actively, as y'all know. But that was really good. It was really sweet.
Karima.
Did this group of second-year cadets striking out on their own mission feel like the Prodigy kids?
It was, aside from them stumbling into each other, it was very reminiscent of when they stole the shuttle and hopped into the transwarp hub to go try to find Chakotay.
We do love a transwarp adventure.
Except, honestly, I think I like the Prodigy one a little better. But
I agree for a bunch of reasons. And like this one, it was like, oh, well, we just got to see how awesome Sam was. And like, and then she projects this like where this transwarp hub will be. But they like literally just float out of Athena and right into the hub. There's like no warp or impulse in between. They just like, woo, perfect, seamless. And that like, okay.
It was lucky.
All right, Sam. Way to show off.
Yeah, it was the very Star Trek thing of doing of one of the characters has to be like the perfect scientific mathematical genius to do it. It's either Spock or Data or the Borg Queen and Picard. Like if you don't have them, they can't calculate it correctly.
That's what I was thinking too. She felt like, oh, well, so she can do the calculations to slingshot around the sun, like only like 4 other individuals in the galaxy can do or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time that a hologram to me felt a little AI-ish in a good way. In that, like, holograms should have access to more information because they're tied to a computer system. And so in the same with that, the doctor can cure anyone of any race with anything. It was good to see her be like, I have access to this knowledge because I'm a hologram. So it comes with the package.
So here's a big unanswered question that I'm sure maybe we won't, because maybe it'll turn out she's not. Is Caleb's mom a Venari Rawl agent?
Oh, definitely. Are you kidding me? The Venari Rawl lady was like, I know you, and then she immediately shoots her. Like, she's shady as hell. And like, you know, she's probably a desperate lady doing what she's got to do. I mean, she was probably telling the truth that Noose broke her out of prison, and maybe she did try to escape him for real. But she probably did help him more than she let on back then, and probably is doing the same now.
Going back to the Prodigy vibes, this felt like Dahl's mom, quote unquote mom, Damon Nandi, which never made a recurring role, even though it looked like she was going to. Where it's like she's coming off like all kind of sweet, even though she isn't like sweet, like she doesn't like Caleb's friends. I guess you'd think if she was really working for the Venari role and this was all part of Noose's plan, she would have tried to help them. So I'm still like, I am on the fence. I have no idea if she is or not.
I mean, there's definitely
I
something.
feel like
going on.
her reaction to all the Federation stuff, and that, especially when she ends up on the Athena, I got the
And
vibes
Aqualung.
that maybe she's afraid she's gonna get killed because she's Venari Rawl and now she's with the Federation, and she could be all kinds of secrets and tries to get Caleb to stay with her, is because if she goes to the Federation, she's immediately marked a traitor, and that could be very dangerous in this situation.
Well, also, she said she had 10 more years on her sentence, so if she goes to the Federation, theoretically, she probably thinks she's going straight back to prison.
Yeah, and like to me, that I'm probably one of the only people that has been actually on the side of the Federation, where it's like, yes, I think she should have been sentenced as an accomplice in the death of 12 people just for food. You know, even if she was just the receiver, but to have an extra 10 years after she already served like a dozen
to
or
do
15 or whatever it
something.
was,
That's
like,
bad.
god damn. That's quite a sentence.
Well, yeah, but she did say she was looking at 10 more years, which like implies she did something while in
That
prison.
could be too.
more
I thought
time.
about that.
So like she maybe tried to escape, or she like participated in another crime or something. I think she's gonna be just a complicated person. Like I don't think she's like a terrible.
I hope
I
so.
think she's a good mom, but I think she's done some like terrible things out of desperation, and it sucks.
I get a little bit of Valjean energy, like I stole bread to feed my family and now you're punishing me forever. Like I get that
okay.
sense of that she's scrabbling. And, you know, maybe back looking for Caleb was part of that, but I think she's scrabbling to eat. I think she's scrabbling to wear clothes. Like, I think part of that's why she was willing to help the cadets, even though she knew this was dangerous, is because she's just fucking scrabbling. And that kind of fits with the whole I killed some people, but I got food out of the deal.
Right.
And that's why I think she might be working with Venari Rolls, because they're feeding her, they're housing her. And as someone who knows what that's like, I can feel that sort of vibe with the character.
Well, and also now they're offering her, assuming she knows, the chance to be rid of the Federation for good.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Dang.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. Like, if the Federation is an option for you in the post-scarcity society, like, you're probably going to take that, but it's not for her because that's like she thinks it's 10 more years on her sentence. I imagine the very next scene we're going to get in this next episode is picking back up on that scene between her and Ake, and Ake is going to be like, look, I'm so sorry. I fucked your life up. There's nothing I can do to make that right, truly, but we can like work on commuting your sentence. And
We've
stuff,
got an
so-
admiral on your side.
Yeah, if we can get back into
And then
the
she will
Federation.
attempt to
I'm worried about Vance, though.
Inspector Javance.
I think
think
Vance
he's
is in trouble. Yeah.
We did
I think
grow
he's
his
fine.
beard quite a bit this week, so
I mean, I'm assuming that they can't get a signal through the like Omega 47 mines because those like fuck with subspace, and subspace is how they talk to each other without like
Okay, that makes sense.
taking years getting a signal from place to place also. So for the third week in a row, I want to go back to the same question. Is Darum essentially still an asshole?
No.
And for the first week,
No.
no, he's not. Not
He's
anymore.
standing up for my boy, my baby boy Jaden. twice, two
Right.
times, both times he was like vigorously defending his feelings, even though he's not there to witness it. And it's so good. I love them. I ship it so hard. It's not even reasonable. Like, what a devoted little guy.
I wrote something in a discussion about Academy where I said I think one of the through lines is this idea of chosen family. If we look at Ake and Caleb, if we look at the cadets, this idea that it's okay to
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Chronotons, tachyons, and a wormhole all working against Dell today.
I do agree with Dell though, because like
It's like we can
arguably
detect
chosen
profound
family
thought.
is like a theme in pretty much all of Star Trek, right? Like we tend to, you know, the way Caleb described Starfleet as a place that collects strays is true, right? Like, I mean, just look at Worf and Data. Like, both of them were like the first of their kind in Starfleet, and they found family on the Enterprise. And like the crew of Voyager, so family, it's not even reasonable. Like, everyone on Deep Space Nine,
Metaphor.
family. And I love that we get to continue that theme here in Academy as well.
I think that this is like probably my favorite scene from the entire show. Like when Darum gets angry, and then also when Caleb starts belittling every one of his friends and like intentionally trying to hurt them to create separation, and then Sam kind of hugs him and just says you're full of shit. I think that this might be one of the most genuine and well done back and forth in the entire series. Like, I remember earlier I was criticizing, my main criticism of the show is that it is truthfully way too melodramatic, and the delivery when it comes to like the apex messages is just very preachy and not well done in my opinion. And this was really, really, really good.
Dell, you and I are sentenced to 17 years of making it work. Here's to making it count.
We can do it. We can do it.
Make it go.
We'll fix that glitch. I agree with most of
even
what
know
you
what's
just
going
said,
on.
Gannon. It's a very powerful scene. But I'm gonna say I absolutely hate Caleb belittling his friends. Like, I talk about this in my actual review this week. I've never been a fan of the Roddenberry "you can't have interpersonal conflict between characters" rule, but I also believe in that to some tiny degree, and it bothers me to have a main character talking down to other main characters in Star Trek. In other TV shows, I would not have a problem with this at all. It's set up really well, but in the context of Star Trek, it rings wrong with me.
To me, it really clearly illustrates Caleb had a choice: prison or Starfleet. And I know I have pulled this move where I've said, like, I need to leave all these people, so I'm just going to make them hate me, so that
He's trying to push
they
them
will just
away.
let me go.
In
Yeah,
response,
but I
Genesis
feel like,
kind of started
again,
it,
going
but
with
he
that
took it to
sort
another
of
level.
theme of chosen family versus blood family, I feel like this moment is like, okay, I need to break up with this family because my mom is my focus.
I think he also feels. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
In response to Dustin, I feel like this is the one character where it's okay, because even more so than anything he does at the school, any type of relationship that he has with Tarima, the number one thing that matters to Caleb is his mother. So like every single time he does something against the rules, he acts irrationally, he stops actually behaving like a normal human being, it's because of his mother. Like, he will just completely drop the ball. He will do
Full
anything
Norman Bates.
and
Caleb is
everything to
Deeply
Must pretend
traumatized.
to
yeah. And another
Like-
thing, like, this has happened one time before in that I could think of, in what was the Ford movie with
no.
Picard talking down to
First
Worf, calling him a
Contact.
coward.
Mm.
I mean, that there was reasons that happened though. That was because he was like all amped up.
There's reasons
And I-
this
Oh, I
happens.
mean-
I think it's similar.
No. You're right. You're
Caleb,
right.
like Caleb,
You're right.
part of Caleb's whole complex here also though is that he feels a lot of guilt for having a chosen family and for liking anything that he experienced at Starfleet, for loving the academy, and especially for like having a bond with Captain Ake. And now that his mom is back in front of him, all of that feeling is like right at the surface. Like it's all just boiling over because he's got all of this trauma is suddenly feeling fresh again. Like when he's interacting with his mom, it's almost like he's a little boy again, right? Like he just kind of is reverting to exactly who he was the last time he was with her, which was a scared child. And I think that's why Sam kind of sees right through him, and so does Genesis, and so does Darum. And he is pushing them all away, and he's not coping. And I think it would bother me more if he was like a Starfleet officer, or if his character was supposed to be like a lot older and like, you know, having managed this better. But he's a kid, and he's a kid who's this year that he's had at Starfleet is the first time that he's not also just been in survival mode. His entire life has been fear, guilt, survival mode. So like to me, this feels like a perfectly reasonable thing for him to do, even if it is upsetting as like an audience member to watch. Like I hate the experience of watching that scene because it makes me sad, but I also like I think it's very reasonable for him to have that reaction with everything that he's been through, and then suddenly feeling like he's, you know, he's scared to even tell his mom that he's joined Starfleet because he knows that it's going to hurt her. And he's right too, by the way.
Right.
She reacted to Ake, like the way that she reacts kind of when she realizes they're Federation. Like she clearly, like the immediate suspicion, like it's not, you know, he's right that it will upset her and probably break her heart. And I think it's going to take a minute for her to come around and for everything to be like, okay.
Plus, I think he partially might blame himself for the bond with them for being the reason he didn't find her sooner, because he kind of laxed off on that whole putting in the code thing until this episode. He's like, oh, 472,000 messages.
That was so flimsy, honestly. I wish they had a better excuse for why that didn't work, because I don't buy for a second that he wouldn't have tried their special word at least once in the year that he's been allegedly checking these channels and trying new things. That
everything. Except the most obvious thing.
Did you try password?
Yeah, literally. Literally.
But I mean, the scene did. I do love that it did set up two other characters to have amazing moments. Darum finally doesn't come off as essentially an asshole, and Sam just gets to be even more awesome.
Oh, the moment when he's about to start in on her and she just hugs him. And it just takes the wind out of him. They both play that so well. Like, it's crazy that I think this is Sandra Rasta's like first on-screen role in like anything, like his first like major acting experience, and he's really killing it.
He did like, as far as I know, one commercial before this, and he'd never done television or movies.
No, he's amazing.
Anywho, why did the Venari Rawl announce they'd captured Federation spies for any reason other than to benefit transmitting the plot to Caleb?
I don't know. I think the idea that they like to make an example of them, and like presumably like even before, like even when they were just walking around, it seemed like the whole vibe there was pretty hostile to the Federation. So maybe they're trying to like garner some goodwill as an occupying force because they're protecting you from the big bad Federation. Or they just want you to know what happens to spies. Sorry.
And was it? They never even said that they were Venari Rawl. Like, I wasn't sure at first. Is this just planetary security, or is this the Venari Rawl? Because they gave off-worlders an hour to get out. Like, they didn't even give people an hour to get out.
Oh, it's hailing. Yeah, I think they had like a caveat that was unspoken. I mean, I guess it makes sense. They are kind of like in a proxy war with the Federation, as we've seen throughout the season. Like the Federation is like blowing up their ships in encounters and stuff. Like, and I guess they did like massacre that space station. So I don't know.
Well, true. It wasn't just Federation citizens either. They were on a clearly Starfleet shuttle.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, and they were probably agents, not just like random farmers or something, as far as they were concerned.
I would watch Star Trek Random Farmers.
Me too.
With Malort and Ma'ach.
And Boimler
Yes.
on his raisin farm.
Yes.
Oh, I do think it's interesting that like it sounds like they were killing Starfleet officers on site on that planet, or not on site, but after brief interrogation is the plan on this planet. But that they chose like a non-lethal way to like just fence in the whole Federation is kind of like, it seems almost like the Federation is more interested in killing the Venari Rawl overall than the Venari Rawl is in killing them. Because like in the first episode, I don't think he had planned to kill the crew, really. I mean, he threatened to do it if he didn't get the warp core, but he was just going to steal the warp core. And then here, they've just like locked them in. They generously gave them all of their like worlds and space, and they seem to like specifically put the targets far enough away not to like destroy any planets. And I think that's kind of fascinating.
Yeah, it kind of seems like you know, you do your weird thing over there, just let us be. You're not going to let us be, we're going to make it happen.
We're going to end this war, and also you can keep all of your territory, but you're not leaving it ever again. That's wild.
Right, my brain isn't working completely, but the insect race who put up a wall when
the Tholians?
It was on TNG.
With their web?
Yes, the Tholians. I kept thinking about them during this episode, this idea of like we're going to create our own space and make it physically impossible for you to penetrate it.
I was thinking about lower decks than Locarno's Trinar shield.
Though in those instances, like the Tholian web was relatively small. Nick Locarno's thing just encountered a nebula. My very last question here is: does a Federation-sized minefield make any sense?
Well, I guess they only need one particle per mine.
Yeah.
True.
So if they found a way to like replicate the particles effectively, and presumably storage components are maybe easy to make, I don't find it totally unbelievable. He has also, it sounds like, had like 6 months to do this.
And like just nobody noticed. Oh, hey, we're just laying these mines like right along the Federation border.
Well, I mean, they're only it's one particle, so I guess the mines might be very little and easy to hide. Maybe.
They just
I
have
guess
to have a really huge
cloaking
effect.
technology seems more ubiquitous in this century.
Yeah,
so
I think I'm more
that's
just
not impossible.
it's the imagery here that doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this looks like it encounters a few systems, maybe even a few dozen, but you're talking about like thousands of systems and like really about an eighth of the entire galaxy.
Thousands of systems anymore?
Well, it's like at least most of two quadrants.
It's still a good
Federation
chunk
was a
of
lot
what they
smaller,
originally
right?
had. From what
Okay.
we've seen in graphics, they don't have everything that they once had, but it's like 2/3 or 3/4. It's still a lot of what they formerly had in the 24th century.
Can I
Yeah, I
insert
mean,
here one of my biggest fears is as soon as they said Omega particle, I was like, they're going to bring the Borg into Starfleet Academy, and I am so tired of the Borg.
No.
I want the
totally
Girardi
over
Borg.
Maybe they'll be Borgati's Borg.
Well, yeah,
Bring
they
it.
All right, so
Girardi
maybe I
Borg.
can handle that.
they're very intricate in the burn in the comics. Not that that's related to this at all. But Girardi is still around during those events.
Yeah, Norman, it's just as far as like the star charts and stuff we've seen in more modern Star Trek, it looks like they have almost it doesn't look like they have expanded into the Delta or Gamma quadrants. And it's just basically a lot of their former territory, except for the stuff that went up and around the other side of former Romulan space. And some of the stuff that went down further under where the Cardassian Empire was. It's more circular now and smaller. From what I've seen, it doesn't mean that they don't have like other contacted worlds further out that they're friendly with, but I don't think there's anything part of the Federation out there. Anyway, that's all my questions. If you guys have other stuff you want to get into before we do out of tens.
Well, the very early stuff, you brought up the picture earlier. We didn't really talk about it, but Jaden's house ceremony or whatever we're calling it.
So cute.
Now, just the scene in general. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I have to be elder queer again because in queer community, chosen family is very important. Because a lot of times people get kicked out of their family or they can't relate. I'm the black sheep of my extended maternal family. Like I'm always the last one they think of. They don't even invite me to Christmas and Thanksgiving anymore. And so this scene meant a lot to me because I've been in situations where I've had to sit down and go, okay, I know you think you're my friends, but I think you're my family. Let's like make this official. Mm-hmm. I changed my last name to become basically to join House Tashlin.
To Norman's question, so we've kicked this around behind the scenes a little bit, and to me there's only two logical answers. So, first of all, we already established that the War College is not on Athena going to Beta Z. If they're there, they're going on another ship. But then that begs the question, well, if he was going to do this, why not wait until you're back on Earth and you do it with Kyle? And to that, I say, then the only answer is that, there are two answers. Either him and Kyle have broken up because we didn't see him last episode either, even though Kyle had trauma. Where was his trauma counseling? But hopefully better is that getting into season 2 or maybe even at the end of this season, they're going to get married and Kyle is going to end up in Jaden's house that way. And then Jaden gets to wear the awesome dress that Jadzia wore to her and Worf's wedding. Mic drop.
I don't think we have time for that this season with one episode, but I guess they could put it at the end.
I'm thinking next season.
I got a question.
Yeah, it could be a very end. Go ahead, Scott.
How many family bonding ceremonies do Klingons have? Because this is nothing like what Worf did with that kid Jeremy to make him his brother, or when Martok adopted him into his house.
Well, apparently he did say the exact same words Worf said in this episode. It was the same dialogue.
It was just a different ritual.
Yeah.
Also,
we couldn't let this kid drink alcohol.
Klingon diaspora, the idea of forming families of choice could be what the family that Jaden comes from. Instead of having like a triad marriage, it could just be 3 Klingons who found themselves in the diaspora and was like, okay, now we're going to form a house, just the 3 of us. And then children came and they were hoping to actually establish it as a real house. And Jaden may be pre-programmed with this idea of trying to make House Krag something that it actually exists outside his immediate nuclear family. I don't know, but it will be interesting to see how him bringing these people into House Krag without his parents knowing. Also, as someone who's been divorced twice, keep your boyfriend out of your family. Like, let that simmer before you bring him in, because otherwise it's fucking messy.
3 Klingons, 12 testicles. Who will survive? I don't know how I missed, and it wasn't until a radio program brought this up as like a joke of the week. I missed the 4 testicle thing. We didn't
Oh,
talk
no.
about that
The
either.
quadratesticles?
The
You missed
quadratesticle.
it?
I missed that. And I think it was Bren. Did you put that in your video?
I did at the
And then
very
it was
end.
yours. It
because
was yours. And I was like, wait,
quite
what?
silly.
That was a real thing?
It was during the
I missed
play
it.
sequence when he was talking about the Klingon plays.
Yeah. I would like to see that opera. That sounds like an experience.
True. Anything else?
I'm looking forward to next week.
I am, and
I
I'm
think
not
I agree
'cause
with
I'm
you.
ready
Yes.
for it to be over.
I think I agree with Norman that I can't really this episode really leans on next week. And so
It
I'm
does.
worried that if I give this like a set
Uh-oh.
Oh, I was gonna ask
I
Del
swear,
to
man.
start out of
No.
tens while he was getting a good connection, but
Ah, heck.
all right. Gannon, are you still around?
Yes, I'm here.
Then maybe, unless anybody else has anything else they want to talk about in the episode.
I'm good.
All right, then why don't you start our out of tens, and we'll come back around clockwise.
I will give this one. I'm going to be more critical of this show than in other shows. I think I'll give it at most a 6.5. The fact that they are like using the Omega particle as a poorly done member berry is kind of pissing me off. But other than that, I really did enjoy the episode.
That's fair. Del, well, you seem to have some connection. You want to get your out of 10 in there?
Yeah, I just put it in chat. I'm going to rate it 7 out of 10, but I agree with Norman that next week could lower that or raise that number. Like these two are very married episodes. So I'm going to start with a 7, and then we'll see what happens next week.
That's fair.
Yeah, I know it's me. So started off with it, and I wasn't great about the whole ceremony at this point where Caleb's like, no, I'm not going to take part in this. Like in that moment, I understood why everyone wants to punch him in the face, including himself. And it was only bolstered when he was ready, when, he took off, giving up on everything to just go find his mommy. This could be because I have issues I'm not going to talk about here. But people out there, are saying that this show isn't really Star Trek, and I defy you to watch this episode and say that again. When you have people who are technically Starfleet officers, even if they're just cadets, going off and doing their own thing, stealing a ship to do it, no less, a mission to a strange planet with an alien market, finding long-lost family members, reconnecting with your found family. I mean, I do agree with Gannon. This whole thing with the Omega molecule is just ridiculous. It still boggles my mind that somebody saw what these things could do and like, yeah, we're going to create these, but we're just going to hold on to them, not use them for anything, because we don't create weapons and then not use them. All in all, though, I'm going to go just a teeny bit higher than you guys so far and give it a solid 8.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, for me, it really, I agree with Del. It's going to depend on next week. I always rate two-parters together, truly. This one, it was pretty good. It has problems for me. Even adding on to what Scott and Gannon have already said about Omega, while it was never named in the whole thing in season 4 of Discovery, the 10C were using the DMA to source boronite ore from the galaxy, and that, as far as we know, can be turned into Omega. So it seems like that's what they were doing with it to sustain their like class 2 or 3 or whatever civilization. So after that, like, if there was any thought that they should have Omega or like destroy what they have, it should have been clear at that point. So it really frustrates me that they went with this plot line. The Federation should not have it for any reason. None, especially not enough to encircle the entire Federation as the way you see it going around it. Like, I wouldn't have questioned it as much if it had been used the way it looked like it was going to in the beginning, where it was going to be used like classic, how we understand Omega to be used, where it just like destroys subspace in a system. And instead it's like it's being used to create this giant force field, and it looks like the scale looks off. Anyway, there's a few problems, but there's also some really well acted moments by every main character. Even the little jokes, like Colbert's jokes, worked for me. The little joke when Reno and Ake are in her office and they're like, "We're not here," and it just builds up, and that was good. Overall, it's a pretty good episode. It's a solid 7.25. I'm gonna give it 7.25. And like next week, this has a potential to be, maybe a 9, probably not a 10. I with the problems with this one, it can't be a total 10. But it could absolutely be a 9, or it could be like a 4 or 5 and just a fine episode. We will see. Go ahead, Bren.
Yeah, so I'm sort of in the same camp as Scott. I think I liked this episode more than you guys did a little bit. I basically loved almost all of the stuff with the cadets in this episode. The friendship ceremony was adorable. Darum standing up for Jaden is my favorite thing. He loves him so much. He's down bad. It's awesome. I liked the stuff with Sam and Caleb. I loved Caleb's reunion with his mom. That was so touching, and like they both played that so well. Tatiana Maslany is just an incredible actor. I mean, if you've seen Orphan Black, it's brilliant, but also incredibly just cheesy and silly, but she makes that show. Like, her character differentiation is insane. She's just remarkable. She should be in many more things. So it was great seeing her here, and she's great as usual. I liked Ukek, and like I enjoy the occasional like cyberpunk planet that we get in Star Trek. That was fun. The comic relief in this episode really got me. Well, that's a design flaw. But just like made me cackle. I also just love how frustrated Ake was with like the stowaway cadets, where she's like, "Oh my god, 2 more of you to keep alive. Like, are you kidding me?" That was great. That was so funny. I like that even though New Spraka is not present in this episode, like he's still a menacing presence in this episode, because he's out there plotting something. And like on one hand, I do think like the Omega thing is kind of stupid because it shouldn't be there. They shouldn't have it. Like, I actually don't believe that in not like 800 or 900 years or whatever that the Omega Directive would be rescinded. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. So the idea that this was like sanctioned and like allowed on a starbase, like that's whack. Like that's insane. So that does bother me, but I do like the idea of like a trap for the Federation that is like just a non-lethal FU. I think that's kind of wild, like just we're just gonna lock you in here and you can do whatever you want with your little Federation values while the grown-ups play around outside. That's wild. I'm excited to see how they undo it. I know that will definitely like influence how I feel about this episode, but it has so much going for it, and if they pay off the Discovery cameo they've set up, like, I'll be pleased. So at this point, I'm giving it an 8.5.
Apparently, I had the least problem with Omega out of everyone here. Now, the sheer amount of it makes no sense to me, and I hate it. I also hate the fact that in a season that's been almost entirely small personal stakes, we have to immediately ramp things up to a galaxy level threat again. Not necessarily the destruction of the galaxy, but something that impacts the entirety of the galaxy. When we didn't need that. I mean, we already
New Trek
had
being New Trek.
the personal stakes. But I am on the other side of the thing. I don't buy the fact that they wouldn't have maybe not 100 billion Omega molecules ready to go. But when is anyone in Starfleet in the history of the show outside of our moral, upstanding main characters ever given a shit about this stuff? Like, they were always going behind their backs and doing things like phasing warp drive or phasing cloaking devices when we had a treaty with Romulans, and just always messing about and talking about behind the scenes.
You're right.
Ruin
Seven was
Tarkin.
this close to going rogue on Omega in the Omega Directive. She was this close.
Yeah. And I feel like it's probably a byproduct of the Burn era when they were throwing everything at the wall to just survive and keep their position in the galaxy. So whether or not it started out as a clandestine thing and then somebody's like, hey, we got it to work, so let's just keep it. You know, I definitely feel like it's something there. And to go along with something Dustin said a few weeks ago, they definitely addressed things in this season that were complaints earlier on, like, oh, why aren't they doing this thing? Or what about singularity drives? And I feel like this is a response to people saying, why did a yelling Kelpian cause the burn and why not the Omega molecule? And they're like, oh yeah, Omega molecule. Let's pencil that in for Academy. So it feels like a callback, but maybe not the right time for that callback. And I initially thought they were going to use it for trade routes because that was Braca's thing earlier on about like getting from point A to point B. I thought he was going to create new subspace tunnels or something and like cut off the Federation routes, but no, they're just going to build a wall and then make the Federation pay for it, apparently.
Secret tunnel.
The other thing we didn't really talk
and then he
about.
has to put a poster over it.
Yes. A poster of Una's Ad Aspera per Aspera.
Oh God, yes, yes. I was just gonna make a Rita Hayworth joke, but you just made it 10 times
Oh,
better.
nice.
But I just wanted to touch on and this isn't a bad thing for me. I just find it baffling that they gave us an entire bridge crew for the Athena to never use them to have this episode be the Doctor, Ake, and Reno, which was a great combo. But like, where's the bridge crew?
Yeah,
Why
they
are
could
we
have just
having-
not had one if they were never gonna have them
Yeah.
appear, really.
And this is a minor complaint, but why didn't the Doctor become the emergency command? I can't remember what hologram it was like.
ECH,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like just give him that moment where, like, maybe because especially now that they've got the fancy uniform, turn it to like a command uniform, sit down and like do the stuff.
Maybe they'll give him to that next week or something. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
there's another thing. Like he fought for I can't remember who mentioned this, but he fought for the right to deactivate himself in Voyager. And now here we are. He's like, I never sleep. I'm always awake, just watching the sunrise every day. Does he not turn himself off anymore ever? He's just constantly on. But
He's just
overall, yeah.
suffer.
I think this episode, again, next episode's really going to make or break this, but guess I'll go about a 7.75.
Yeah, it's solid. Like it's got problems, but it's fun and it seems to be setting up something great. I don't see very many scenarios where this does not stick the landing. I mean, New Trek writers could prove me wrong, and they definitely have at times. But
Going to start from
they have
Bobby
got
coming out of the
such a
sonic shower.
gall darn good setup here. I can't imagine this being any less than at least like, oh well, that was fun. So
I was talking with someone
Here's
really
the
quick about the convenience and also the setup, and I was like, it feels like T-ball, like when they put up a little brace and put the ball on it so you can hit it. Like the idea that they're building this whole thing, and oh my God, please hit it, just hit it. It would be so embarrassing if you don't hit it. Like,
I mean, for
They
me,
can
like
still hit the post.
I've actually liked Discovery generally episodically, even though it's not an episodic show. But most of the season arcs for me, just like it doesn't play out by the end. I don't like their endings. So I mean, they could definitely fuck this up, but we are teed up here very, very well to do something nice. So, I mean, you just put Paul Giamatti in it for a few minutes and doing menacing things, and that's all you'll need. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Sure.
All right. Well, so we're gonna do that, and then I guess after next week with the finale, we'll either do a round of trivia right after, or we will do our thing where we talk about all the people that hate the show for no good reason and other franchises. You know, the people that claim to love all kinds of great stuff, but all they do is tell you what's wrong with it. Star Trek has never been perfect, but by God, I feel like we're finally, it's taken quite a while, but New Trek is almost hitting its stride here.
Right.
Anyway, we will see. We got some stuff coming up. So I hope you join us back. I'd like to thank my co-hosts for joining me tonight and for all of you that have tuned in. So until we see you again, live